Hey guys. Yeah, so I wanted to talk about a topic today. I call it the subtle art of. There's this book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Really, really good book. This isn't about that, but it's really about the subtle art of doing nothing. Um, and It really deals with. I mean, it's. I'm sure I've seen it somewhere. I mean, most ideas aren't unique. They're usually an integration of concepts that's in the air of what you engage in life. But I think that there's this insight I've been developing around the art of doing nothing, which really deals with. There's this impulse to react and to address things, right? We see this. I see this. I observe this in the medical industry, right? Every time I go to the doctor, I take the kids to the doctor. My wife goes to the doctor. There's this. Something is going to be prescribed. Some set of tests are going to be ordered. Something is going to happen every time you go, no matter what the case may be. And I think there's this. When we have a vocation or a discipline that we have a lot of experience with, there's this kind of impulse to do something when there's a problem that arises or when there's an issue that comes to our attention. But many times, it's useful to exercise a deliberate decision as to whether or not this is a case where we need to do something. When we're deliberate about that, I found that the natural reaction is to, okay, what do I do? I'm going to do this. I'm going to send this thing out. I'm going to react. But the thoughtful reaction is to make a calculation and use, instead of like instinct, we use our cerebellum to decide what will happen if things are left alone. And there's a lot of scenarios for which this comes into play. A concrete example would be someone's working on something. Let's say it's a document or some kind of piece of work that you have the responsibility to help guide or help encourage to be its best version of itself. And many times, you see the piece of work, it's a work in progress, and you react, right? Like you see all of the places it can be improved. You decide then to, hey, let me call the person that is working on it. Let me give them the right tips. Let me tell them the areas that needs improvement. You could expend a lot of energy to try to rapidly move that piece of work into a state where it kind of meets your expectations, or it is what it should be. But sometimes when you know something is a work in progress and it's not the final version, let's say, you can leave it alone and let whoever's working on it go through a process, right? The process of improvement, the process of iteration until they're happy with the work before you get into it, before you engage and start to course correct, let's say. And often that'll produce better outcomes. Often course correction, too much course correction could lead to atrophy. Too many interventions can lead to more sickness, let's say, in the doctor example, right? A good case of this is diabetes. I'm just making this up as I go, but like diabetes, right? So the minute that you start prescribing medications and interventions for diabetes, it's possible that you're creating a dependency on that. However, if someone is mid-journey correcting their diet or correcting their exercise routine, it's better to not interfere. A A better analogy might be high blood pressure, right? Almost certainly, if you go into the doctor's office with high blood pressure, you will leave with a prescription for something to bring your blood pressure down. It's just how it is, and then you can, so that intervention will happen. But often, you can let someone go through the process of understanding what's the best way to address blood pressure issues, and engage that journey of, say, diet correction, say, exercise, routines to help, and these kinds of processes are ultimately more healthy than creating a lifelong dependency on drugs to correct the problem. These drugs have wild side effects. So I think it applies generally, right? And it really is, it's a thoughtful practice of when do you not help, and when do you not take on responsibility? When do you let things fail or die for the healthy outcomes that can come from that failure or death, right? I think that that's something we should be deliberate on. Thinking through that should be something that we think about deliberately, right? So that's about it. Just wanted to talk about that. Awesome. All right. Peace.